Getting
Number
muted.
one is Sakura versus
Sakura,
Ino.
yeah. Oh, bro. That's a good fight.
Welcome back. We are finally back. It's been about a month by the time this one gets posted. And yeah, we've been a little bit doing a lot in our personal lives, but we were able to get some shorts out. Hope you guys enjoyed those. But D2 T2 is back. Hopefully a couple videos a week. But we will see how our lives progress from here on. But today we're gonna be talking about Naruto CHUNIN exams. Just the rounds, not the Force of Death, none of those fights. Just the stage tournament style fights. So we're gonna talk about. We're gonna try to figure out a top 5 list that we can all agree on. So I'll let Daniel give his 5. Oh, and me and T also have the same list. We talked about some of these before. So if he says one, I might not say it and might just agree with him or give my reason if it's different. Same with him. So Daniel, go ahead and what's your 5th?
So my fifth is going to be the Naruto versus Kiba fight. Uh, I think it's a top 5 fight just because you kind of see Kiba's fighting style, which is so different from everyone else because he utilizes his dog to help fight him with the twin fang, and you also see like some comedy aspects because Naruto farts in Kiba's face and it throws Kiba off and everything, but I
Throws
just
off.
thought the fight was really cool because you see like completely different fighting style. Like Kiba utilizes the like tag team combat.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was.
That's
Oh, no,
I
Tito,
also
go.
also have that as
that's my
fifth.
5th as well, for the same reasons.
So everyone
I,
got it
I
5.
Yeah, I just thought because that's the first time you really see Kiba do anything with his pup, right? Yeah. What's his pup's
Yeah.
name?
Akamaru.
Yeah.
Arkimaru. Yeah, that's who it is. But yeah, I thought it was pretty cool. I like the fact that like he can also. I think they show it in this fight at least that he can combine also with his dog to make like one like just like I guess beast. Um, I definitely think that's a cool like fighting with it.
Yeah.
The twin fang. Um, it seems like it can get a lot stronger and stronger as it goes. I'm now officially a little farther ahead, so I can see that it does get a lot stronger. But I do like his fighting style and just like him being that like werewolf type deal is what he's supposed to be.
Yeah, it's so it's Twin Fang, or Fang over Fang is his jutsu style. And it's really the further you get along with it, the more powerful it gets. I don't think they do him any justice in the games when it comes to this, but I like in the anime and in the manga, I feel like Kiba is a really cool character that they could have had in a little bit more than what they did.
Well, this is just established just now. A lot of characters are really cool and end up meaning little to nothing later on. So,
Yeah.
it sucks, but it's how Kishimoto wanted to write a story. But I mean, at least we got some cool characters out of it. No, number 4, we all agree that one's number 5 for us.
Mm-hmm.
So number 4, mine was hold on, so I don't say Shikamaru versus Tamaru. I feel like that one's really cool because in the first fight, Shikamaru kind of like hides in a bush most of the time and knocks her out with the wall. And then in this one, Tamari knows to watch out for the shadow possession, and she was on her toes, but Shikamaru, being the genius he is, was still able to catch her in it. And then he gives up.
Yeah, he uses Naruto's hole
Yeah.
from him and Gaara's fight.
Say using the environment was really, really interesting. No, he's not Kakashi using Naruto's hole.
Yeah.
But no, I thought that one was really cool, and I thought it was the 4th best one. I mean, I can list arguments of maybe Naruto versus Kiba being above it because it is a little bit more flashy, but I like the strategic aspect of Tamari versus Shikamaru.
I thought it showed how strong without like overdoing it for both of them can be. Especially with Shikamaru, like you don't like the shadow possession, like at like first glance, you're like, yeah, I mean, yeah, he can take control of you, but you're really not thinking it's as strong as it can be. And I mean, obviously he's just gotta learn and get more control over it. And then also the fact that he can use it from like different angles, like it doesn't have to just straight from him, like it can like do all sorts of zags and everything as long as it like passes through another shadow, it gains like another like certain amount of footage or whatever. Um, and I just like I also like the fact that it also shows how like he's a thinker. Like he's not always like he's gonna outpower you. He can strategically go into something and just basically rely on his mind. And I think that also shows into when he actually a team leader and everything too.
Yeah,
Why they're choosing him.
because Shikamaru, it shows that Shadow Possession is a strong ability to someone smart enough to use it. Naruto
Yeah.
probably would not be the
No.
best with that ability,
Yeah.
but he
No.
got Shadow Clones, which is good for him and how he fights.
Which is good for Naruto.
But
Yeah.
Shadow Possession, it shows that it's either really good or really bad, depending on who's used.
Yeah.
So, Tito, what's your fourth?
So my fourth, I'm actually disagreeing with you because I think Tamari versus Shikamaru is my third. My fourth is Dosu versus Choji in the preliminaries for the tuning exams. So Choji actually fought Dosu in the Forest of Death prior to that and saw what he could do because Dosu was able to use sound waves to put out his enemy. So Choji had his thinking cap on during this fight in the prelims and was like, "Oh, if I can't hear it, then it ain't gonna affect me." So he just human boulders the whole time. So I mean, it was smart but stupid at the same time. And but sound waves travel through water, and our body's like. This is the explanation of of how Dosu beat Choji, is that humans are like 70 some odd percent water, and sound waves will ripple through water. So with Dosu having like supersonic sound waves, he knocked Choji out like with a singular punch because Choji got stuck in a wall because he couldn't see where the hell he was going. So like you can see the usage of Choji's mind. Like he was thinking about it, but he just didn't think it all the way through.
Yeah,
So that's my reason for why it's fourth
Daniel,
for me.
your fourth.
My fourth is the Neji versus Hinata fight. I thought the fight was definitely top 5 worthy for me, just because it's your first glimpse of like what Byakugan can actually do. Like Neji and Hinata are showcasing what their clan is known for. I mean, Neji is just shutting off all of Hinata's chakra points like the whole time, and he's kind of like bashing on Hinata because she's like the star Hyuga clan like child, and Neji was the one who was like disgraced, and Neji has the mark and everything. But I just thought it was a pretty cool fight. It was just showcasing a lot of, again, it's just a lot of more like different stuff that we haven't seen. Obviously, we've seen people box each other. We've seen some cool, jitsus and stuff, but this is the first time we've seen like Byakugan, like a clan specific ability used at its fullest potential.
Well, I wouldn't say fullest potential, I don't think, but it's
Well,
definitely being used very, very
it's
well.
used
Though.
for its combat potential. Like it's
Yeah.
used to shut off chakra points.
Yeah. No, I agree. I agree.
I have that fight on my as my honorable mention. No, I did like the aspect of they're just going at it the whole time, and the narrative of Neji being part of the clan that's kind of like looked down upon, exiled, and not being the daughter of like the leader, supposed to be a prodigy, but no, Neji's a prodigy, and his
I think
big
they
his
even
big thing
say
about destiny.
his
So
uncle says, or no, maybe I can't remember if it was his uncle, like Hinata's dad, or if it was actually his dad. But they said like that trait of the Bakugan or whatever flows through him like even more so than it does in Hinata. Like he can have more control over it than she does.
I don't remember who says
Well,
it, but yeah.
So the thing about the Byakugan and Hinata and Neji's thing is that Hinata is the daughter of the head of the family, while Neji is the son of the branch family head. So that's why that's why Neji has the mark, is because it's the mark of the branch family. It's the mark of the one who's supposed to protect the the next lead, the next head of the family.
Another thing I really liked about the fight too is that going into it, you obviously think like Hinata has no chance. We've never seen her actually do anything in fights. She's always like the weak one. She's always like passing out because she sees Naruto or whatever. And then she's going against Neji, who is like, and when we first see him, you obviously think, okay, this dude can box. Like, he obviously is somewhat strong because just from the way that he presents himself. And Hinata actually stands toe to toe with him, and she goes until she is pretty much dead. Like he shuts off like almost all of her chakra, and I guess
Yeah, it was.
isn't it if like all of your chakra shut off, you die or whatever?
Yeah.
It was
He's
the.
gonna do the last one on the heart. I remember, and that was
It
gonna
was
Yeah.
be
the
like the last
Proctor,
one.
Kakashi, Guy, and I think Kurina all had to stop him.
hmm
Mhm.
And
They
I mean,
all hopped
Hinata
in.
could have easily just like given up before then, but she was trying to prove a point.
Naruto had a big thing to do with that too.
Yeah.
Him cheering for her.
Mhm.
So our
So,
5 spot is Kiba
Mm-hmm.
versus Naruto. I'm fine with moving that off and putting Hinata versus Neji at 5. I just don't think it's better than Shikamaru versus.
Well, I think you also notice with Neji, like even early on, you can just kind of tell he's like one of the top dogs. I mean, if you like look at it as like a class or like a grade, he's kind of like one of the top dogs of the grade.
Hmm.
Which granted, that's gonna move who's the top of the food chain for that. But from pretty much the beginning, you're thinking it's probably Sasuke and then him. And then obviously, like if Naruto lets Nine Tails out, then he's just gonna eat. But up and like at the point of the CHUNIN exams, I personally think that Neji would be probably the top guy going into it. Maybe I guess curse mark Sasuke because he did like shatter the dude's arms in one of the fights.
After what you see, I'd say Rock Lee.
Well, yeah. Well, I'm saying, but going into
Oh,
it, I'm
going
saying
into it.
because because Neji
I'd
didn't
say
even know about what
Gaara.
Rock Lee pull out.
I'd say how they
Yeah,
built up Gara, how
yeah.
quickly
Gaara
he
was
got
kind
through the
of like,
forest to death, how he hasn't been touched, kind of how they
yeah,
built
that's
him up.
true. Yeah. Okay, I'm saying like good guys though. For good guy, because at that
Hey,
time they're
good
they're
guys.
building Gaara. They're building Gaara up as
He
being
is
the
a good
bad
guy.
Well, Gaara is a good guy, but at the
At
time
now.
he is supposed to be the bad guy at the
Oh, I
time.
know what you mean.
Well, I mean, Orochimaru, I guess, did like suck on Sasuke's neck, but other than that,
Give him a
it's
good old hickey.
Gaara was supposed to be the bad guy.
Orochimaru just bites niggas on the neck, so
Yeah.
they become cold, but he's essentially just biting people on the neck. Okay, you talked me to it. I'll put it at 4. I'm fine with moving those two down, sliding in there. Tito,
What?
you guys comfortable with putting Hinata versus
That
Neji
one,
at 4?
I don't know if I'd
I
put it
am
quite at
comfortable with
4,
putting
but
Hinata versus Neji at 4.
it was an honorable mention.
I think Tamari and
You just think
Shikamaru
the same team.
should be 3 personally, but that's fine.
Well, the
I
fight
think
I'm
these
about to
next,
bring up next
yeah, I think the
cannot
next 3 are pretty.
cannot be touched, and that
Yeah.
is okay. I knew I did some deliberation. Sasuke versus Gaara. That one is definitely better.
See
than
the
It is
Chidori
Shikamaru
for the
versus
good.
first
Shikamaru.
time. See the Sand Demon, pretty much for the first
Yeah,
time.
he finally tagged somebody with Shidori.
Yeah, he finally used Chidori,
You
and
see
I
how
mean,
strong.
Sasuke breaks the impenetrable defense, right?
Yeah.
yeah,
And he makes Gaara bleed for the first time too, because like Gaara like completely like freaks out at the fact that he's bleeding and he's like screeching, and everybody's like, what's going on?" And then I think it's Tamari. She was like, "I think he's hurt. Like I think he actually got hurt there." And then they realize the fact that he did, in fact, get touched by Sasuke. But
Mm.
If he wasn't too
I
proud of
think
that little sand and just sidestepped, he would, because
I just
Sasuke ain't hit
I think
nobody
it was
moving with that thing.
I think it was a pretty good like I guess not really surprise fight because once Sasuke was pulling up after trained by Kakashi again, you knew he was going to be pulling something out of like the bag of tricks, I guess.
Mhm.
But I think it's also pretty cool that like you get to see Gaara start to break, I guess, pretty much, and the fact that Saiyan spirit demon thing starts to come out, and I think he even transforms like it's one of his arms at that point, right? Transforms. I want to say it's just one. I thought he started
I
to.
don't
Maybe
think
maybe
so.
not quite, but because he's in the
I know
sphere
he's
and you
going
see
like nuts at the moment,
you
right?
see it like swirling around in there. I want to say he gets to. I think that's when they cancel it off there, because then they pull him out and then they get to the woods. And I think that's when he starts to really let it out. Now that I think about it, I
that's
don't
when
think he
Konoha
fully.
Crush starts.
I think that's when he's about to, and they're like, "Dude, you're about to blow the mission." Doesn't quite let it out. I think that's what that is, because then he like gets knocked out, and Tamari and whatever his name is have to carry him away.
Kankuro.
Yeah, Conqueror, that's what his name. Yeah.
I think the fight is the third best out of this tournament is because you see Sasuke pull up in black suit. You see what he can actually do with the Sharingan after, because it was hyped up from very early on with Kakashi.
You can
Finally
see it with
what he can
you
do.
saw it with Haku. In my opinion, you saw it really with Haku's fight was the reason why like they kind of got out of it. Other than, I mean, Naruto spazzing. But I'm saying for like the fact that he could even see anything.
Yeah.
Like he was able to see them moving, and you're not supposed to. Naruto definitely is the reason
That's
why
the
they get
precognition.
out of it,
Yes, I'm talking about the ability to copy another person's technique.
I think
Rock
I
Lee,
think what
him being able to match
Sasuke
Rock
had.
Lee's weightless speed.
Yeah, and he all he has to do is just he matches Rock Lee's like kickdown or whatever too.
Well,
or the Lotus.
he did his own hidden lotus. He did the lion's
Yeah.
branch, and
Yeah,
Naruto
but that's not
even
really a
copied that.
jutsu to copy.
I'm talking about the
That's just
speed itself
But
that he
taijutsu.
copied.
He's
Well, and
copying a move
the thing
though.
is that
Doesn't the
Sasuke had
Sharingan play into that too? Copying moves.
It's more like jitsu, I think. I mean, taijutsu anyone can do. It's just your
Hear what you're
physical
saying.
ability.
My thing is you see that he can move as fast as weightless Rock Lee.
Well, and you got to
In
think
that
Is it
fight.
weights or weight?
that Sasuke
Weightless.
has double Tomoe Sharingan at this point in the tuning exams.
Yes, and that's why his Sharingan he can do his Sharingan has kind of evolved in a sense because it's the Tutomo,
Yeah.
and he can copy Rock Lee's weightless speed,
Yeah.
which Rock Lee has trained his whole life to do. That's why I like it so much. He can do that, which is I think it's a big deal because Rock Lee obviously trained his whole life just for this, and then Sasuke looks to be given everything. Obviously, he's not because he's worked hard, but he's just easily mad.
Kind of also had everything taken away.
Man's is rocking a copycat cheat code.
So I thought that was really cool, and then you obviously get to see Gaara getting pushed to his limit again because Rock Lee was doing something, but he tired out. But you see Sasuke push him to his limit, and Sasuke wasn't getting tired yet. And he balled up, and then Sasuke had the one thing Rock Lee didn't, which was, the use of jutsu. And the Raikiri or Shidori can cut through almost anything. So I thought that was really cool. That's my reason for putting
It can
third.
sure cut through Haku.
Well, I mean Naruto really boxed.
Yeah, but what put Haku out of commission?
I mean, but that was Kakashi's.
Yeah, I'm
At
saying
least number
Chidori can
one
cut through anything.
asset outside of the Hokage. A little bit of a difference there.
Wow.
If you read the data book, it's the Leafs number.
Well, now I'm hearing this, I gotta reorganize my stuff.
Did you not have Sasuke versus Gaara on this?
I did not choose Sasuke versus Gaara.
Okay, Sasuke versus Gaara for me is number 3 because first of all, you just saw Gaara almost murder Rock Lee, right? He destroyed his leg, even with Gaara showing off his weightless speed and everything. Rock Lee. I don't know what I said. But Gaara is shown to be like this monster pretty much, right? He's untouchable. Even Rock Lee can't do anything to him. Rock Lee is,
Well, he touched him.
But Rock Lee tossed him around like a
but
rag
he
doll.
can't
He did
do
toss him
anything,
around.
right? He can't do any damage. That's what I'm saying.
I
Did
think
Gaara take any
we gotta wait
damage
for that
against
fight.
Rock Lee?
Yes. In my personal, yes. I think there was at one
Okay,
point
but
where Rock Lee had Gaara on
Let's
the ropes.
take
Gaara
a
was
moment and
panicking.
realize what damage is to you, okay?
He was
Did
damaged.
Gaara show any physical damage on himself?
I mean, he's cracking.
That's
His
not him.
sand
That's a
armor was
sand armor.
cracking.
It's cracking.
It was sand
Gaara
armor.
took
Sand
0
armor.
physical damage.
No one really did that at up until that point. Like,
Yeah, I'm not saying
If
Rock
we're
Lee
talking
didn't
about a
do
I mean,
broken
anything.
5 of
nose
8
and
gates is
stuff,
pretty
then,
cracked. So
then no. But to say he didn't touch him, I think that's blasphemy. Because
I
in
meant
my
it in
opinion,
like a
we
non-literal
can
way.
get to this fight because we all know where it's at for everybody.
Yeah, I'm
But
not saying Rock Lee didn't put in work. I'm saying that
I
Gaara
think-
is just.
I think
a
he had him on the ropes, and I think Gaara kind of hit the panic button, and that's why he popped out the sand coffin to finish it on his ankle and his wrist or whatever he did.
I don't know, man. I'm just throwing
Rock Lee
out
was
my
also
opinion here.
exhausted. Okay, this is
Rock-
the fight.
and
Well,
yeah,
no.
and Rock Lee was also
we're done. We're done with this
gassed.
fight. No, we'll move on to it. We're gonna get to it, obviously.
I'm just saying it's number 3 for me because Gaara is, in the eyes of everybody at this point, a monster.
Basically
He-
death. So
yeah,
all the,
he
all the
has
damage.
not taken any physical damage. We haven't seen him bleed. We haven't seen anything other than his sand armor cracking. And then Sasuke just punches a hole straight through his armor, right? It's the first one in Gaara's lifetime to make him bleed that we know of.
Well,
Out
his
of
reaction
everything
to
Gaara's
seeing his
been
own
through.
blood, I would assume. So yes.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure it
And,
says. I'm not completely sure.
No,
It
they
would
said he's
probably be
never-
number
I
1
think
for me
so.
if the fight didn't get stopped, because what takes place afterwards isn't part of the fight technically. So
Yeah,
it's got
I
to be
would-
number 3 for me.
that'd probably be my number.
And we all
Be
have
very-
number 3.
Be very hard if you count like what happens later in the woods and then when Naruto comes to help. I think that one has a strong push for number 1.
Yeah.
But we're technically not counting that. And then if we're also throwing that in there, you can throw in the Hokage and Orochimaru going at it too, because their fight was pretty insane.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Because when we were originally doing this list, that's what I was going to ask Neil if we're including those, because I thought it was pretty cool how he the other Hokages, Orochi.
Oh,
did.
Yeah, where it's Lord
And-
Orochimaru.
Sasuke
Yeah.
versus Orochimaru was also pretty. But that's not what we're here for.
Yeah,
We're here
that too. Yeah.
for the tournament.
Mhm.
I'm fine with
So
keeping
number
it at
2.
3.
Number 2. I
Me
don't
and T
know.
have the same number 2.
I don't know
See,
if
I have
T-Dubs.
Naruto versus Neji at number 2.
Okay, I also have
At
that
number 2.
at number 2.
All right, and
I just well, yeah, that. But I like obviously, like you get to see because Neji and Rock Lee were like, well, won't it be cool if a loser ends up being the one to beat this gifted kid of Neji, and then would end up being Gaara too. But I just like the fact that Neji is so hell bent on it's like this is the way, this is how it's always going to be. Like there's only one path in life. No matter what, like no matter how much you try, it's always going to be this way. I like how it's like it's kind of like an eye opener to like really forge your own destiny. I think even after the fight, I think Neji talks to his uncle, doesn't he?
Yep.
And they like break down like what happened with his father and stuff. And even his uncle was like saying like he chose that like he chose his destiny. That was not like how it was supposed to be. He chose that. And the fight is obviously it's got its fireworks thing. I like how it shows how over like confident Neji is in it, especially with the fact that he thought he had Naruto done, but then Naruto literally just about ripped his nails out and dug a hole underneath of him, and then still got the one up on him. But I think if Neji doesn't go into that too overconfident with the fact of like basically standing over the hole at the end, the hole that the Shadow Clone was in. I think if he just would have went for like the berry right there, pretty much, I think he definitely would have won the fight there. But Naruto I think in fights progressively just shows that he has a little bit more of a brain than he shows like I guess at all other times. But when he's actually in a fight, he can actually like I guess have that combat sense of know what to do and how to get out of stuff. So I really think it was a good fight.
Yeah. You hit it on the nail on the head for me. I would like to add that Neji only lost because he did not take Naruto seriously.
That's what I'm saying. He was too overconfident.
He went into it and did not. He thought Naruto was basically another Hinata, or how he had
Yeah,
previously saw
exactly.
Rock Lee because Rock Lee had never beat him.
Yeah.
And then
But
I
So
think
he was.
that how Naruto fights, like you said, is the aggressive nature, and it also shows that he can think if he needs to, and that's why I think the Shadow Clone is like the perfect jutsu for him
Mhm.
because he can just throw
It's
so much at people, and then it allows him to have time to come up with a plan, and it actually shows that he's thinking when he goes into these fights.
Yeah, and I agree with that point with the shadow clones because a lot of the times he uses the shadow clones as a disguise for another move that he's actually trying to set up,
Mm.
which that shows that he's using combat sense or whatever you want to put it as is like I can use these as a distraction. Now, from what I can tell, some people can kind of detect which one's the real Naruto and which one isn't. I guess it kind of depending on the
He has
enemy.
such a large chakra pool. I'm
Uh,
pretty sure he spreads like it. Like when Neji was looking
yeah,
at him,
but
he couldn't tell the difference.
Yeah.
there was somebody who could tell. I can't
I
remember.
don't even think Sasuke could,
I thought it was Sasuke in their last fight
because
before
in the
Sasuke
valley
goes off.
he was fighting. He's like, he even states he's like, you haven't even made me use my Sharingan yet. I don't think he can tell them apart. I think he's
There's
just
somebody
throwing
who
them
can
away.
kind of. There's some. I thought there was somebody who could kind of detect it, but
If
then
it was
he just
anybody,
upped
probably
the
like
chakra.
Kakashi.
I
Watching
thought
the
it was something
fights.
like where they could kind of tell, but then he started like upping the chakra through all of them, so they couldn't tell. I don't know. Maybe I was just
See,
thinking of
maybe
it
early
wrong.
on,
It was,
I don't know.
it
I
was
don't remember
probably
that.
Neji. It was probably Neji showing his vision, and then it basically starting with Naruto and then spreading. And I probably took that as like, oh, that doesn't happen all the time. One particular time, but it probably does happen all the time. Considering that's, I mean, that scroll is what? It's a Jonin level, right?
That's a.
When he
We all
so
agree
should we get to
this.
number one?
Yes,
Yeah.
that one went on for a while. Obviously, it's Gaara versus Rock Lee. It's still
Is
one of
the
my favorite fights in across all of anime. I was watching it and I didn't have like the hype of it like T had, or I think Daniel even was hyped up for it a little bit. I went into it. I'm pretty sure I was on a road trip. When Netflix allowed you to download the episodes, I downloaded like 70 something. And I was just watching them, and that one came on, and I was fully invested in this. Yeah, that was my first time taking in the Rock Lee versus Cigar fight, not knowing anything happens. And I think
That's
one of the biggest moments is so many people can relate to Rock Lee. Like you try so hard at something and you fail. You're not gifted at anything. Like you look at other people that they are. Like maybe if you play sports and there's just people who just get things easier, things like that. Rock Lee, he can relate to so many different fans. And then you have Gara, naturally talented, a little bit evil, not a lot of bit evil. And then you don't expect Rock Lee to lose. I don't think anyone really expected him to lose because the way the anime is, he's a good guy, and normally good guys win. And he loses his ability to fight for a while. And obviously,
yeah.
you see the gates, you see that Rock Lee is always training because he has these weights on. And I mean, Rock Lee's just so dang cool. It's just
The moment when he drops the weights and everybody's like, "What the hell is 2 to 3 pounds gonna do?" And they literally just fall through the floors. And it just makes like
Tamari, I think, says dropping a
shatters the
measly couple
floorboards.
of pounds isn't gonna do anything.
No, this man was carrying around anchors pretty much around his damn ankles, and I have a problem with it. But I think what it is about Rock Lee, I think it has something kind of to do with Zenitsu too. Is it's the character that like they're only good at one thing, so they have to perfect that one thing that they can do.
And that's
And yeah, and that's like, and I think that's why I also like because Zenitsu. That's one of the reasons why I like him. And then Rock Lee, he's got this one thing that he's just had to absolutely just train and train and train and train on. And even then, sometimes he doesn't even feel like that's enough, or sometimes it isn't even going to be enough. So he has to kick it into the gates or anything like that. I just like the fact that, like he was saying, like he was the gifted loser, and even what no matter what Daniel says about Gara, I think he had Gara on the damn ropes, and I I really think it showed. Like I think everybody there was kind of like jaw dropped, like wow, this is Rock Lee. Damn, like I'm kind of glad it's Gara going against this dude right now and not me because I don't think there's anybody else that would have beat Rock Lee other than Gara. I think everybody else would have been mine. maybe if Naruto gets the Nine Tails out, I guess he can just overpower it. Then he gets really fast too, so he might be able to keep up with Rock Lee at that point.
Naruto was
Maybe
able to
not with the
speed blitz
gates.
Haku.
Yeah,
Not really speed blitz, but he definitely hit. He gets fast, but I think he gets more strength than anything early on. Really, when he gets Chroma Link mode is when. Sorry, you haven't played that yet, but
Well, no, when he fights well, we're gonna go ahead. We fight Sasuke right before Sasuke
he gets a
leaves.
little bit faster, but it comes a lot with the
Sasuke's saying, "Oh shit," and is literally just eating punch after punch for like a solid 2 minutes, and then goes into another mode, and then
he also trained with Jiraiya after that though, and Jiraiya weakens the seal for him.
That is true. Yeah, that's true.
But at that time,
either way,
he definitely gets faster. He gets a lot of amps from the Nine Tails Shrine.
yeah. But anyone else, maybe other than Naruto, I think loses to Rock Lee in that case. I think that would have been the Neji trap.
Are you saying if
him doing the gates and things?
Okay.
I think
I'm gonna say because Neji wasn't really shook when he took the weights off. It was when he had opened the gates. He's like, so this is
that's what I'm saying.
Powered. Like
this is when like I think Neji at that point was kind of like, okay, I'm not very as confident going into that.
Well,
fight
Guy was even training him in the gates to beat Neji.
Well,
this is what
Rock Lee even says, like, as he's doing it, like getting ready to do it to Gaara, he goes, Neji, I was saving you, but I guess I gotta pop it out now. And that's when he does it. Actually, no, I think that's when he does the Lotus, and then he goes to the gates. Because so he was saving. I think it was the Lotus he was saving for Neji.
He is not tagging Neji with the Lotus.
He was.
But he says like
rotated and laughed off.
I know, but I'm pretty sure when like he was doing like the commentary of like himself in the fight, he was like, Neji, I was saving this for you. And then
I think that was when he was opening the first gate.
Yeah. Well, and the thing is like
I can't remember, I guess exactly, but
at this time he was opening. So this is the tuning exams, and he's already opening gate number 5.
He's going to gate
by
5
this time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, which is what gate it was. Gate of happiness, right?
I don't know.
Gate of life.
I think it's Gate of Life. Sounds.
I think it's
right.
Gate of Life.
You know,
it's Gate 5.
Never heard.
Hey, when somebody gets in that position and your Gate 1 open, you probably get the fuck out. you already start hightailing it out of there.
It's Gate of Limit. Well, I thought it was
Gate
Life. It sounded a lot.
Limit.
You know, both L's. Not a lot like it, but. So yes, Daniel.
I thought it was. It's definitely number 1 for me. You see a lot of really cool, different styles of fighting. Rock Lee shows taijutsu, which not a lot of people are specialized in it. There's actually only 2 that we know of at the moment, which is Rock Lee and Mike Guy. And Gaara obviously shows, he's got sand armor, which we don't see before that fight, which is kind of busted when you first see it, because you think Rock Lee's put in all this work, and then it just cracks his armor, and he's like, "You didn't even touch me." Like, I'm still chilling over here, man.
Because he was laying down. I'm pretty sure when he sent out the sand coffin.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they were both like. That was after he kind of. I can't remember. He like dunked him into the ground or whatever, but it made like a pretty big explosion. But the way that Gaara got out of it was that basically his armor, or he made like a sand clone of himself. Right before it impacted. But I think it was his armor that took the hit, because even he was kind of gassed after it. And then the sand
he was laying on the ground.
Yeah. I don't know for you
guys,
guys,
but after
when I watched the fight for the first time, that's when, I said earlier, Gaara's kind of like the monster out of the whole group. That's kind of the fight where I realized, like, this guy he should not be with this group of people.
He's
like, there's something different about this guy. He's got bloodthirst like nobody else in the group. He's got abilities that no one else can really match. I mean, no one else has an impenetrable defense while being able to like murder people in an instant, right?
And it's automatic.
And he also doesn't
the
even
one
have to like
tails
move.
is just it's the one tails just protecting him.
I like how his fighting style is very cocky, and he doesn't try it to be cocky, but he just stands there, just arms crossed, and sand whoosh, whoosh,
Yeah.
whoosh, just flying everywhere and blocking.
And there's like nothing you can do if you're fighting him. I mean,
Yeah.
what are you supposed to do? The sand can come at you from anywhere, and as long as he has the jar on his back, you just can't do.
And
You
he
can't
can
fight him.
grind sand up in the ground, like grind material up, turn it into sand, and pull it out of the for even more sand at that point.
Yeah. And the only person that could do anything was, from what we said earlier, Sasuke using a jutsu that can cut through anything. If you had to know a jutsu that can cut through anything as a taijutsu user, there's no way you could beat him.
Kimimaro. He was gonna kill him, but he died himself from his issues. So I mean, but Kimimaro was definitely a rare case.
Yeah.
Face Keki Genkai with the bone crab. I'm pretty sure you don't see that again. Never mind. I'm not gonna.
Yeah, that's for me, when I watched it for the first time, it was definitely my favorite fight from what I've seen in anime, but I've seen all sorts of things. I mean, Entertainment District Arc from Demon Slayer has probably my favorite fight in it, but there's just
It just
so
looks
many good
pretty.
fights in so many different anime. I mean, it's really hard for
That
me to
looks
choose
really
one,
good.
but Gaara versus Rock Lee is definitely up there for me for one of the best fights.
No issues here. So what we got? Hinata versus Neji, 5. No, Shikamaru versus Tamari, 5. Hinata versus Neji, 4. Sasuke versus Gaara, 3. Naruto versus Neji, and then Rock Lee versus Gaara. Any issues
I'm
with that
out.
list?
No.
All right.
I think that's.
That
I don't
was
think anyone was gonna argue about number one. I think that was.
somebody argued about.
I think
number one,
everybody
I was gonna
going
mute
in
them, so
knew
it didn't
what.
matter.
Yeah, I was just gonna say that they were wrong.
They
Number
didn't.
one is Sakura versus
Sakura,
Ino.
yeah,
Sakura versus Zeno.
I know. That's a good fight. They
Daniel
both
is so
ended in a
disappointed right
draw.
now.
Goodbye. Have a good one. Like and subscribe.